welcome to Lil-Lets Talk Online, the vodcast where we talk all things periods. My name is Megan, and beside me is my wonderful co-host.
Hello, Meg. Guys, I'm Bokang, for those of you who don't know. And today is a super interesting and exciting episode. We're talking all things tracking your period. And of course, we had to match the caliber of the episode with a guest, just on the same level. We've got Dr. Q sitting over there. How are you, Doc?
Hi, Bokang. I'm well, thank you. So I'm Dr. Q. Thank you guys. Know that that's like my stage name. So I'm Dr. Mkizwana here. So I reside in East London, where I work. I'm a mom, I'm a wife, and I'm a specialist paediatrician by profession, and I work in one of the public hospitals in the Eastern Cape. So yeah, and I'm also a mom, content creator, lifestyler, all things blogging.
Love it. You're literally doing it all.
Doing it all and representing the Eastern Cape.
I know.
Hometown girls, eh?
Yes, there we go. So, tracking your period. Before we start, I just want to ask, like, what are your guys' periods like? Regular? Are we talking like just coming out of the blue or?
Doc, let's hear from you first.
Okay, well, for me, let me just say, I think it's regular because I go every month. So I'm not really into like specific dates, and as long as it comes every month, I'm good.
I love that. I love that too.
I feel like especially once you've been pregnant, when it arrives, you're like, okay.
Yes.
I would say that it's quite strange because I've been on the pill for so long. So I can't say, if my period is super regular now because it's regulated by the pill.
Yes.
But prior to having a child, my period was a bit like all over the place. I think because I have PCOS, so it would like pop in here, pop in there. But I always knew it would be unexpected, like in that the days would vary, but I would know that it was coming by the cramps that I would get. So the cramps were like a signal, that it was coming.
Yeah, I'm also pretty much regular kind of girl. I used to think, regular was a specific day, but I love how you just said that. As long as it comes every month, that's a regular.
Yes,
and of course, with the help of the apps and just being in tune with your body, then at least, you know that you're regular or not. But I mean, on that note, I think let's hop into the first question.
Yeah, let's do it.
Are we good?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so the first one is, hey ladies, do you guys track your period on apps? So are you guys more of like a natural, in tune, or do you actually use apps to track your period?
Well, for me, I think that for me it's natural. I think I just enjoy watching my biological clock, like when everything just occurs naturally, even though I know that usually it will be like on the first week of every month, and then at some point before that it was like on the last week. So it's sort of like now shifted a little bit. I don't know what happened, but I'm just happy. But it comes every month, so that's what I use to track. So I don't necessarily use any apps, but other people do.
Meg, do you use apps?
So I've tried apps before, but I think I'm just so bad at inputting the information. And I think my last phone had a period tracking app or like a health app, and then like part of that was a period tracking part. And definitely was so bad at inputting the info and recording everything. And then the other thing is like not recording the info. I remember getting a notification the one time that it's like, you've been on your period for 46 days.
Oh,
and I was like, well, that's just because I didn't put anything in.
Literally forget.
Exactly. But I really like in principle the fact that you can record all your symptoms. And I think like if you're that kind of person, it can really, really help and be like comforting, you know when it's coming, you know what to expect.
And if you have a chill schedule.
Yes, exactly.
I started using an app this year, which has been nice. It's not that accurate in my case. I know some people, the app is like literally on the day, then the period comes. Mine, I'm like, I don't know about this app, hey? But it's maybe a couple of days or a week off, but at least I know. And I do like the other information that's there where you like input, your symptoms. And you can also, the one that I use, you can just read up about all like different types of stuff just in relation to women's health as well.
Oh, that's cool.
Or if there's something that I'm experiencing, I literally find myself going on the app and I'm like, hey, what is going on here? Is this normal? What's happening? And there's literally just articles and like just a whole bunch of information. So I do appreciate the app for that. Maybe if I was like a little bit more like, well, unlike both of us really, and was just a bit more consistent with my symptoms and like just actually tracking the dates, then maybe it'd be a bit more like spot on in terms of when my period comes. But right now I'm just like, yeah, no, it's not.
But one thing about apps, I always think that there's a good side and a downside for everything.
Okay.
Like for instance, I think because I'm too personal sometimes or a little bit private, like internet never forgets, like this whole thing, you put in everything because you literally have to put in every intimate information, and sometimes you don't know where it's being kept and if it can be used to a third party in the future or something, even though on the other side it's nice, but there's also I suppose not for everyone.
You can't go wrong with your biological clock, like you said. You can't go wrong with your natural cycle and tracking that rhythm.
Yeah, and I think being intentional about it, like it really, you have to be intentional about going, okay, now I'm going to start tracking day one, and then like continue. Because otherwise, I mean, then you end up with like me now. Never knows.
I know.
Yeah, and then my partner has to remind me, oh, like your period's coming. And I'll be like, what? How do you know? As if like it's never arrived before, you know? And he's like, no, don't worry.
He's like, trust me, I know. I've been seeing the signs.
The signs.
But the other good thing, apparently, it does help you so that you know that, I gotta always be safe. Have my Lil-Lets pads in the bag because just in case something happens, so that I don't just up and go to your wedding in a white dress.
Should we look at question 2?
Let's definitely.
Cool. Question 2. Hi. I don't know when to expect my period, and sometimes they come twice a month. Oh, we see this on the platform all the time.
Yeah, this is interesting because like I would be very shook if my period came twice a month. But I'm sure, Doc, is there a reason why a period can come twice a month or seem to be that way?
You know what, Bokang? There's one thing, like ever since I joined Lil-Lets being the talk responder, like at some point I was like, okay, should I be like, I've already answered. Did you check the other person who just posted before you? Because sometimes it just seems like everyone is like having this anxiety around that issue, and to a point where sometimes you're not sure whether the person is aware of what is a regular period, or maybe like just the general population, because it seems like as ladies we are going through some stuff period related. Yes, so I think that with that question, I would actually think that my principle is that if you go every month, then it's all good. Then I consider that regular. However, if it's twice a month, now you want to ask yourself, what is the actual length of a single cycle? So the actual length of a normal cycle would be like 21 days up to 35 days.
Okay.
In like, it's like looking at the graph going like that. So a whole lot of population would be falling on one median line, and then in between on the outskirts, then you get that 20% on the unusual, like maybe they could go beyond 35 days, maybe 35, 36, 38.
Yeah.
And then you have these ones where maybe they would be like 18, 19, 20. Okay. But in terms of the majority of the people, then they would be between that 21 up to 35 days. So answering that question would be like, as long as your cycle comes every, say, 21 to 35 days, say in a month. Months, sometimes they're short, sometimes they're long. So if you have, let's say, a longer month, let's say 31 days. If it's 31 days and my cycle is like 25 days, so I'm likely that because you count from the first day of the first day of your period to the next first day of the next cycle. So now I could go on my periods on the first, and then first, second, third, then I'm done. And then start counting from the third up until the 24th. Around the 25th or 26th, if my cycle is 21 days, then again, I could have, because that's like 3 to 4 weeks later, which is okay. But now it becomes a problem if it's going to be less than that. Like, for instance, I go on my periods on the 1st, and then on the 16th,
again.
Sure.
No.
Yeah, that's
then
definitely something
first, yes, initially I could be like, am I stressed? Maybe something happened, I was under pressure at work, a lot of submissions, or you just go through those things first. But if it keeps on, like it seems to be like a trend, then you ask yourself, girl, should I be going to see a doctor now? So I think to answer that, if it's like out of like, you know, what you really used to, then you monitor for 1 or 2 months and then it continues to happen, then it's time to go and knock at the doctor's office.
I love that. You broke that down so well. Yeah. And I think, again, especially you just need to know, are you a 21, 22 day kind of person or 35 or, you know, a little bit later?
28.
28,
yeah, which is more average.
Exactly. So then if something like that does happen, then you have an understanding of, oh, okay, and yeah, my period, it's regular and it's still coming. Can happen twice a month, depending on the length of the month. But yeah, I just love how you really broke that down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think what's also like what we try to remind people on the Let's Talk is that your period doesn't correlate with the calendar month. You know, so I think that's also when people can get confused and a little bit
natural.
worried. Yeah, that it's not necessarily 31 days, so you know it's not going to fall on the same date or necessarily.
Yes. And each one of us is different. That's why there's a range. That means that not everyone, like you can't just say 21 days. Then not everyone is gonna go at 21 days. Some people it could be 25 days, 28 days, even at 35 days.
Yeah.
Oh, love that. Okay. On to our third question. What is the cause of an irregular period?
I think so many people want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know what I always say when it comes to periods? I always say you listen to your body, you watch your body. And also knowing how you react to things. When I say body, I mean like mind, soul, spirit kind of body, vibes.
Holistic,
the actual holistic, because if anything goes wrong on the psychological state, it can manifest through my physical cycle issues. And at the same time, if something goes weird in my brain now, like let's say I'm anxious or I'm depressed or I'm going through so much, then it can manifest through my body because that's how the body is reacting to that. And at the same time, say a lifestyle change, I gain a lot of weight, my body could actually respond in a different way. If I lose a lot of weight within no time, my body can also react in a different way when it comes to my periods. And also if I'm having some medical conditions, gynecological conditions, then my body will come again and react in a certain manner. So I think that things that are important, I always say, you have hormonal issues, you have mental issues, psychological issues, and also just general health and all of that. So commonest things would be anxiety, depression. They would be your first things, like you're scared of your boss, you'd be shouting because you missed a deadline. The next thing, boom, you're having an irregular period. The periods come later, or they come sooner than they should. And at the same time, if you've just lost a loved one or something and you're grieving, that also, or you've just received a medical diagnosis and all of that. So I think, you just go through that. But commonest things occur commonly. However, you must always observe a trend, because if you're depressed, then you're on treatment. In 3 to 6 months, you improve, and then your cycle is likely to improve. And then at the same time, if now I'm having a gynecological issue, like let's say, like you mentioned, PCOS, if I have that now, today I have these periods. And then next time my period is like 3 days, and then it happens every 2 weeks, sometimes on the 3rd week. And then it's just sort of like it's quite a frustrating cycle when you have some medical issues. And also if you're approaching menopause, like as you age, it's not going to be the same as when you're in your 20s or when you're having just after having babies. So it might change. So a lot of things that happen in our lives, they can actually change or trigger our bodies in a different manner way we would react in terms of hormonally, and then it affects our periods.
This whole conversation just reminds me of this amazing fact I read somewhere. It was about the first ever human calendar. that was recorded, and it was put down to a human man having like indicated like days on a cave, a wall of a cave. Right?
Oh wow!
And I remember reading below that that it was 28 days that they'd marked off.
Oh, wow.
And the caption was, which man is counting 28 days?
Ah.
Hey, isn't
And
that
then
amazing?
That's when we started having the 28 days.
But that's like tracking our cycles is so ancient. It's something that like we've done,
Yes.
Yeah.
Why they gotta take credit for that too?
I know, exactly. Tracking our periods.
Come on, man.
Yeah. But it's so funny that nature does everything for
Yeah.
itself. It's so funny that, even the people that studied periods and hormones or these scientific things, they actually look at our like nature and how Mother Nature has been doing things in our bodies. And then they say that it seems like the out of a normal population, 80% of the people would have their periods or recorded their periods to be after the caveman's calendar, day 1, 2, whatever. And then there's like the other fraction now, which is smaller. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's absolutely
That
beautiful.
like variety and like variation between us all.
Yes, and also tells us how different you are.
How different we are, and also I think like it comes down to the platform for me, like how shared experience is so powerful, and hearing your story can help me and vice versa.
Yeah.
And I just think it's just lovely that we can talk like this,
And this beautiful space has been curated, and people like you, Doc, can take some time out of their schedule to come and actually educate us and like just also kiki at the same time.
I know. It's actually it's quite exciting. It's quite exciting, and also I think I love some of the things that I really enjoy about the platform is the fact that sometimes you might think that you're going through some stuff alone.
Yes.
Some stuff alone. And then when you keep on reading the articles and even other people's question, and you realize that, okay, I'm not alone. And sometimes some of the things that you might have thought that they're abnormal, and then you start realizing that, no, this is actually normal, which is so nice and informative, especially for the young girls as well, because not everyone is going to have somebody who's going to tell them anything about their periods. And then now when they have this safe space, they actually get to, because I think, those common questions sometimes probably come from the younger generations, like, your teens, women of reproductive age, because they're not really used to all of these things. So now when something just changes in their lives suddenly, then they realize that, oopsie, daisy. And then now when you go to the platform, you realize that, there's a group of other people that go through the same thing. And then it tells you that, it's in fact normal, or maybe it's unusual, or it's not normal.
And that's why we do what we do.
That's it. That's all
Yeah,
we
it
have.
is nice. It's very
Yeah.
exciting. It's nice.
So, Doc, other than the platform, where can people who are watching or listening find you if they want to,
Okay, so I always say I'm a social girl.
Okay, we love that.
So usually I'm located where I work. But the thing is, I do public work there. So you can't really get me for any private things and all of that. And also it's child-based. But now getting me and getting women, exciting things. So it's usually on my social medias. So I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram. And recently, I'm on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. So on Instagram, it is at the Peds Dr. SA, at the Peds _ Dr. SA. And then on TikTok, it's at the Peds Dr. 1. And then Twitter, it's Que Mkizwana. And then Facebook, it's like Mkizwana Hira.
Cool.
Love that. Yeah, we've got a whole list of
No,
different,
we've got the
We've got it on the
variety.
screen.
I know.
Yeah.
It's very nice. Yeah, but Instagram, that's
That's
where
where
you
it's
get a
at.
lot of Lil-Lets juice as well.
That's
Yes,
where it's at.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, this has been so wonderful. It
As
always
always.
is.
Thank you, guys.
As always.
Yeah, and we've just loved having you. Thank you so much for being here with us and educating us and sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me as well. And also, I've learned so much from you guys as well. Yeah, you know what they
put that on my
say.
CV.
I know. It's like when patients comes, we always say they don't read books. You might have read a book, but their bodies do not read books.
Oh, wow, that's so true.
Yes.
Sure. Dr. Q, you're just going to have to come back again next year.
Pleasure, guys.
Please join us on Lil-Lets Talk. It's an empowering, free space where you can ask any menstrual health-related questions, and we're talking anything from periods to pregnancy and all that's in between. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah.
See you guys soon. Bye.
Thank you for watching.